To-do lists. We can't live with them, we can't live without them. So this video is all about organizing your to-do list in a way that you are not, stressed about it. I had so many conversations about to-do lists lately. Some people love them, obviously, but there are some shortcomings about to-do lists, and here is what I think about them before I show you my system and we tackle the problem about organizing to-do lists. If you're a business owner like me, I know that you'll love this. Okay, so here's the first problem when it comes to using a to-do list. There is no way to assess the time required to complete the list unless you're writing next to each task how much time they need individually. So here's a scenario. If you're making a to-do list for your day on the morning, which again, I don't recommend, but let's stick with the scenario. You're making a to-do list for your day and you're writing 8 to 10 things. And you probably don't write next to each one how long they will take, and you end up with 10 items, which sounds fair for a day, right? But reality is, probably you're underestimating the time that these tasks require. 99% of the time. So if you wrote down next to each item how much time they would need, you might end up with a to-do list that needs 20 hours to complete, but you only have 9, 10, 12 hours as a business owner to work that day. Obviously, you won't be able to finish that to-do list and you'll feel underachieved. That is a natural outcome of it. And I don't want you to have that. That's going to be a big killer of your productivity. The second problem with the to-do list is that it grows during the day and during the week. Some things come and we don't really think about if they are an idea or an actual task that we want to need to do. So we just add things to it and it just grows and grows and grows and grows. And we don't even know if you really need to tackle everything on that list. And again, cause of stress. We don't want that. Business is already stressful enough. Life is already stressful enough. So that's the second problem. And the third problem about, to-do lists is that there is no built-in prioritization to them. Obviously, when you're making your list, you can think about the most important one and write it on the top. But reality is, again, some things will be added up. And when you're tackling it, you might not choose the first thing that you've written down there. So clearly, you will not be doing the most important, most urgent thing first. And this is how human brain works, right? When we're looking at the to-do list, we pick the ones that are easy because we are procrastinators, all of us. There's the instant gratification monkey taking over. Did you watch that TED Talk? And eventually, we don't do the most important things on the list. And that's why I don't plan with to-do lists. Now, don't get me wrong, some people really benefit from them, and if it's you, great, do what suits you. I think to-do lists are great for brain dumping, and that's a completely different thing. It's great to write things down that you need to do, and that is called brain dumping. But when it comes to actual planning your day and using your time to the max, and I'm all about using your time to the max, this is not, in my opinion, the best way to go. Here is the solution. Here is my recommended system for you. I have a task manager. This is an ongoing list of everything, business and personal, projects, tasks, and ideas, everything. Things don't end up on this unless they are processed and unless I sleep on it for a couple of days. What happens is I capture ideas and I put them in my planner. And then after a couple of days, when I'm processing my, planner, I'm like, okay, is this something I want to put on that list? Already you're in a better place, right? The second part of my system, the solution, is having an online calendar. I use Google Calendar. I talked about time blocking. I did a deep dive tutorial on my channel as well. So I recommend it highly if you want to use your 168 hours in a week to the max. And the third component of my recommended solution is to have a paper planner. Nothing will ever replace paper planning because nothing can replace writing. It creates so many more neuronal connections in your brain. It's 100 times better than typing. So I highly recommend one, capturing these things, and 2, writing the details and writing, like meeting notes and stuff like that. Sometimes it's hard to type while you're in a meeting, but you can really easily, scrabble things down. And that's why I have this 3-component planning system, and it works perfectly. And if you don't want to do the time blocking, and if you don't want to do the whole paper planning, I still recommend the task manager, an ongoing big list, and maybe, a daily to-do list that is pulled from that list, on a paper or a post-it if you want. Anyway, let's go over to my computer so I can show you my task manager and how you can organize your to-do lists with this technique much better. So this is what you see when you go into my task manager. I keep Notion half screen and I have the Google Calendar on the other half screen, and that is one of my desktops. I'm not going to go too much into detail, I'm sorry. So this is always in front of me, not necessarily the task manager, but generally Notion. And like I said, I have a to-do list with some other points involved so that I can manage everything, organize everything in a better way. The first point is the active projects point for me, and I am sorting these, everything in the sort, which I'm going to show you in a minute, according to active first. This is a lot of active things, and this helps me see that I shouldn't be taking on any more projects currently before I empty a little bit of these things. The second part is the title, and obviously when you click on these, you open another page with the details of this, and it makes everything so much easier. You have all the notes, every resource, websites, everything you need in one place to be able to tackle that task. Then we have the urgency. Urgency and importance, as you know, are a big part of the Eisenhower prioritization matrix, or in general about prioritization. I think urgency is a little bit more important than importance. That's why it's on the left side. And I have three levels of urgency, basically high, medium, and low. And you can tell that I have a tendency to say high to a lot of things, which is something I'm working on right now. The second part is importance, same exact high, medium, and low. And these are all sorted according to high urgency, high importance, so that I look at these things first, not the other ones. The other part is the type. If it's a project, if it's a task, or if it's just an idea. This is what I mentioned before. We don't want to put ideas as tasks before we kind of think about them if we really want to and need to do these. And that's why I love capturing them here. I fix this, or I update this Notion as I go, obviously, but also every 2 weeks during my Get Your Life Together routine, which is a video that I'm going to share with you anyway. But I see here if it's a project or if it's a task, and if it's a task, it's probably faster anyway. So that's the gist of it here. Then I have time required. You're gonna see crazy amounts of times here because back and forth and some gaps in between. This is what it will take. And I always round up, because if you plan for a thing just to the point where you need that time, or a little bit less even when you're way too optimistic, that creates stress because you're behind. I much rather be ahead of the schedule, finish it in 6 hours instead of 8, and relax and enjoy a cup of coffee with those 2 hours that I managed to finish earlier. Then I have the input. If I need someone to help me with this project, if I'm waiting for an input, if I'm waiting for an email or anything like that, that name goes here. And on the task manager on the left side, you can see that I have different views of this task according to the people. So when I'm having a meeting with that person, this list is open so that we can tackle these things that I need to talk to this person about. Going back to the task manager, you also see a category, business and personal. This is for me to keep a little bit of balance, but also not having too many systems, because I think too many systems just complicate things. One life, one diary, one task manager, in my opinion. And since I have multiple businesses, here are tags. Is this about my coaching business? Is this general business? Is this about my YouTube business? Is this Get Estilo? So I can also, again, color code it. I can see how much time I need to spend on these things, or if there is a general balance about these things at all. And now going to the sort part. This is what you're gonna see on my sort on Notion. The active is obviously gonna be on the top, urgency again, importance after that, then the type. I wanna tackle the projects first and then the tasks because, eat the frog. And the category as well. Like I wanna combine categories together, like business things first and personal things, because for me, this is more about business anyway, and that's why I have that sort there as well. And you can, when you're creating the views, what happens is you create a filter. When the input contains this name, just show me those ones, and that's just brilliant. I think this helps so much when it comes to organizing your life, organizing your to-do list, any list in my opinion anyway. And I really hope that you found this video useful. It's a very simple setup. If you need any help or have questions, leave them in the comments below. And yeah, let's enjoy a more organized year together. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Monday with another video that will hopefully help you get more out of that one life you have. Until then, take care. Mwah. Bye.